Last year I made a video titled "This New Genre is Blowing Up," and needless to say it performed a little better than the usual video does on my channel. In that video I discussed a newish genre of games called the extraction shooter, and clearly there was quite a bit of excitement, interest, and hype around this new multiplayer experience. In that video I said things like, "I believe it's these three differences that are driving huge growth and success with this subgenre, with even heavyweights like Call of Duty and Battlefield trying to get a slice of that sweet extraction pie." Yeah, it didn't age super well. With all of the failures, but still titles to come, I can't help but feel that this genre almost seems dead on arrival. And I'll explain why, but first, a word from our sponsors. As a recap, the extraction shooter can be viewed as a subgenre of the traditional Battle Royale experience. With a heavy focus on high-stakes PvP, it provides an adrenaline rush unlike any other FPS in my experience. It generally features a progression system where players enter raids to collect loot in order to enter raids with that loot to collect better loot. Any collected or brought loot is of course lost upon death. It's a highly punishing, but for some, insanely addicting and intense gameplay loop. PvE elements are also common, and the mix of PvPvE provides very unique experiences. However, despite all of that excitement and intensity, I honestly think only 2 developers have cracked the code to this genre and experienced real success. The original founders and pioneers of the genre, Battlestate Games, the creators of Escape from Tarkov, the very first extraction-type shooter experience, and still the most popular one by far, and Crytek with Hunt Showdown, a more casual but nonetheless incredible entry within the genre. And right now, that's pretty much it, as far as thriving games go within the extraction shooter genre. So come along, take a trip with me to the depressing development graveyard of failed titles. The Cycle Frontier, a promising sci-fi spin on the genre with lots of potential, but some poor management and horrendous cheater problems. Despite its last updates bringing many players back, including myself, its servers were unceremoniously shut down this past September, and development completely ceased. Marauders, another promising sci-fi entry with unique spaceship combat mechanics and some interesting ideas. Coined Starkov by the community, this game has also been plagued by cheaters, and was a little too bare bones to compete with the more fully developed Escape from Tarkov. As of the making of this video, this game has just over 500 active players. Not exactly a thriving community. Battlefield Hazard Zone, it's almost insulting to the other games on this list to include this half-baked, half-developed, full trash disaster of an attempt at an extraction shooter, but it deserves a spot here nonetheless. DICE's failed attempt to once again capitalize on a flavor of the month genre with no support, no plan, and no hope is just another stain on the broken legacy of this once great developer, and Hazard Zone is essentially completely dead. Dark and Darker, a very fun if janky take on the extraction shooter genre with a medieval fantasy twist. So, an extraction stabber? I honestly am not sure how well this game is doing player base wise, because it kind of fell off the map for me. After its legal issues and abrupt removal from Steam, it just seemed to completely fall off. And as endearing as it was when I played it, it had a long way to go to be truly fantastic in my opinion. Call of Duty DMZ. The announcement of DMZ was to me the biggest motivation to create my other previous video. Once Call of Duty, arguably the most mainstream game series to ever exist, other than maybe FIFA, takes a shot at a genre, you know that genre has made it big. However, despite doing many things that I personally liked and having a pretty dedicated player base, the plug was once again unceremoniously pulled as Activision announced no further support would be happening for DMZ with the release of Modern Warfare 2019 Part 3. They most likely just couldn't get the technology or figure out how to get DMZ players to pay to unlock a loot crate in-game that contained a Nicki Minaj skin or something. I don't know what's going on. Regardless, it is dead without even losing the beta tag. Ouch. I'm sure there's more, but you get the idea. Despite all of this, companies are still developing and trying to capitalize on what I'm becoming increasingly convinced is too niche a genre to see mainstream success. People have said, and I've also said, that they just want a casual Escape from Tarkov experience, something that somehow captures the atmosphere, intensity, and depth of that game without requiring you to play it like a full-time job, and keep a shit bucket nearby to do well and actually progress. But now I'm wondering, can that even exist? Hunt Showdown does this, kind of, but it's different enough that it's its own beast completely, and features one of the most unique and interesting settings and atmospheres in the FPS genre, and is different enough that it's kind of its own thing now. If you strip away all those frankly stupidly hardcore elements of Escape from Tarkov, what are you left with really? Despite its many issues and its just absolute plague of cheaters, Escape from Tarkov somehow maintains popularity and just has a very dedicated player base that loves to punish themselves. A bunch of masochists, yes, I'm saying it. Granted, it's kind of a very unique experience, but that's my point. If you take away all those elements, is it still that unique experience? You might not only fail to pull anyone who's already a fan of the genre away from Tarkov, but also fail to pull any new areas of the market as well. I think that this is the dilemma but opportunity Call of Duty saw with DMZ, and it just didn't generate enough attention or popularity to keep it alive. Is the extraction shooter a case of early adopters just stumbling and failing to find an audience for one reason or another, with fast followers learning from their mistakes and innovating enough to stand out? Or are these signs of an untenable genre outside of extremely niche titles? There are some big heavy hitter developers still taking their shot at the genre, with Ubisoft and The Division Heartland, and Bungie with the mysterious Marathon. Not to mention countless smaller developers rushing to put something out. My question, is there enough hype to bring any of them meaningful success? I'm not sure. That's right, this is an open-ended video, so if you're looking for a satisfying conclusion, take this instead. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the extraction shooter has legs, or is it dead on arrival? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Until next time.